AI, the savior of the world, creating profitability for everybody. Or AI that's coming after your job, going to destroy society. I disagree with both of those statements that are coming at us every moment in the headlines. As a Silicon Valley veteran that has worked with the early stage teams for Google, NVIDIA, even Tesla, I understand that AI developed over the last 5 decades is a technology, a powerful technology that can create a whole new society and a whole new world driven by people. People like yourselves that are intelligent, that have years of human context and experience, that have amassed great data and have partners like Sievo that can help you understand it. You, as people and leaders, have an opportunity now to leverage this powerful AI to take your place as the king and the queen of the hill. As procurement professionals, you guys have responsibility for controlling 40 to 70% of the spend of the world's largest corporations. Decisions you make go directly to the bottom line faster than any other department in your organizations. And you have access now to this tool called AI. To build that into success for yourself, it takes an understanding of the power of AI with people as the real winners. My objective this morning is to inspire you to think a bit differently and to empower and prepare you to go away helping the people in your organization to become those winners by working with AI. I will share some examples of how an approach used by Fortune 100s around the world to implement AI successfully has delivered through peace. And that's not the airy-fairy kind of peace. That is delivering through a focus on the purpose. Why are we using AI? What is the problem we think it can solve? Then exploring safely, securely, with clear parameters, what are the right tools? What is the most effective way to use them? And acting for everybody in the organization to get experience in using these tools appropriately. And collaborating. Let's face it, this is a whole new world we're moving into. No one can or should do it alone. And today you have the opportunity to work with your friends, all in procurement, that are figuring this out together. Use this as a starting place for moving forward. Through those steps, you will empower others to look at AI as the tool. And I will conclude with this formula of AI plus people and how that will equal success for you in your organization. Now, I see some nods and some smiles. I can also envision there's probably one or two skeptics somewhere in the room that are saying, yeah, right, I hear everything she's saying, but I also know 80 to 90% of corporate AI initiatives fail. People are not getting return on these huge investments. Maybe I'll just wait it out. Well, I actually agree with you that the vast majority of initiatives fail. Do you want to know why? People, executives, overlook the importance of taking their people with them. Let me explain what I mean by that. I often see leaders come to a conference or a leadership retreat or a board meeting, and they come back into the office, and everybody's wondering, what has he learned at this last thing? The leader walks in and says, hey, I've seen the light. AI is the answer. We're going all in. Copilot licenses for everybody, mandatory training. Everybody is going to be using AI. We'll build it into your performance metrics. You must use AI, and we're going to be great. Few of you have experienced that. And realistically, how did that make you feel? Not terribly good, probably. The vast majority of people who have experienced that feel, number one, afraid. Oh, heavens, here comes the AI beast. It's going to take our jobs. It's going to track and monitor everything we do so we can be replaced by the tool that the company trained us on. That is a real and valid fear. World Economic Forum just published a study. Over 50% of people, all levels, all industries around the world, 50% of people are afraid that AI will take or negatively impact their job. And as humans, when we become afraid, what do? We resist sometimes. We fight back. I'll be smarter than it. Or we run away. We'll just ignore it and pretend that that's going to go away and just carry on. Or we'll kind of appease them and pretend like we're doing something with it. That's the reason AI initiatives fail. People are not involved in the process. So, you all are smart. You're procurement people. You're not going to do that, right? No. So, what do you do instead? How do you bring people into the equation? I suggest you start by helping people to understand what is AI. There's a lot of press out there that talks about what it might do, but let's really think about it. AI is a technology. It is a tool that allows people to create something on a blank slate of paper. It doesn't have humanity. It doesn't move by itself. It doesn't make its own decisions without people prompting, guiding, programming, leveraging it. AI is kind of like a kitchen knife. Something that was designed over decades, perfected every day, to do a job, either making dinner at home or preparing lovely meals like we had yesterday evening. And AI, just like a kitchen knife, can be used to create good things, or, if occasionally, put in the hands of somebody with negative intent, it can be used to hurt somebody. But that's up to the person. It's not the tool that takes on action, it's the person. So understanding that AI is something that everybody in society can leverage to create something, but it depends upon what it is you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it, and your human capacity and how to use it appropriately and effectively, just like the knife. An example from one of my clients, which is an insurance claims processing company in Europe called Vanamida. And their COO had been struggling with one key problem for years, really. And that problem was, how do we actually keep customer service representatives? They had something like a 40% turnover rate of young people coming into this role, and these people were tasked with sitting 8 to 10 hours a day on screen, reviewing insurance claims, looking through data, finding reasons to deny them to save cost, sending letters, getting calls from angry customers. It wasn't a fun job, let's face it. The challenge was, what do we do, because we've got to speed the processing. A very smart operations director had said, "Hey, how about AI?" And she actually went out and found an agentic AI tool developed specifically to process insurance claims. Perfect, especially since it could do it in 3 seconds instead of the 15 minutes it took the person. So great, we'll get rid of these 150 people and use the tool. Well, the COO called me to say, "Is this a good idea?" I said, no, to simply get rid of 150 unhappy people and use a tool, not a good idea. Let's take a different approach. Let's use the next 6 months to, A, explore how the tool could work and make sure it's going to be safe to use. And while we do that, let's have every single person in this team meet casually with their supervisor, their manager, so that the supervisor, the manager, can understand each person's goals, where they want to go in their career, what they've learned in their time here at Vanamida, and how they might develop into new roles in the future. These were not HR, AI is going to take your job, what do you want to do next kinds of business meetings. These were casual, comfortable, open-ended discussions the managers had with the people. And they discovered some of the people had years of experience in claims processing and wanted to go into strategic planning, financial analysis, and could add a lot of value to the company through all of this information. Others wanted to deepen customer relationships, actually do customer service, and build strategic partnerships with customers. And so over the next 3 months, they began to move people from these on-screen roles as they brought in the AI technology, freeing the people to go out and do what the people do best: customer service, meeting with customers, financial analysis, planning ahead, adding more value to Vanamida. 120 people were reskilled into new roles. Revenue went up by 20% through deeper customer relationships. And the 30 people that remained in claims processing were doing complex claims analysis and leveraging the technology, and were much happier in their roles. Turnover plummeted. So a true win-win by leveraging AI for what it does well, but taking the time, investing 6 to 9 months to understand how the people could bring greater strategic value and helping them move into the roles doing what people do best. The ultimate winners was the company, but also the people who were then happier in their roles. So now let's go into a bit of how you actually do this in a day-to-day implementation of how do we get AI and people working together. Many of you are probably in large corporations in which there is maybe an IT department or a strategic innovation department that has a huge AI or digital strategy. That was the case for another of my clients. They had a huge Barlow World global entity, huge team of technical people that had invested 12 months of time and energy on a digitalization strategy, leveraging Copilot, Claude in some cases. They had invested significantly not only in corporate licenses, but in mandatory training and in hordes of consultants from Deloitte and other places that were working with the 55-person team. Lots of activity. When I got the phone call from the VP of Corporate Finance, who I had met at a conference, and she says, "I'm concerned. We're over a year into this, and my team is not really seeing any results from this. We're getting lots of flack and frustration from the executive team and the board because we're still not able to deliver on time quality reports in advance of board meetings. It's still difficult to consolidate all of this data. What are we doing wrong? How can we change the strategy?" My answer was, let's not try to change the strategy. That train is already moving. Let's just leave that over there. And let's take 6 months here, Layla, and see what we can do for your team. Start with one team, one problem. Let's clarify. What you need to do in the next 6 months, Layla, is you need to improve the perception of the service you, corporate finance, deliver to the executives. Yes. Great. Have you gone out and talked to your people about what would actually help you improve internal customer service? Yes. We need better consolidation, less errors, more timely, blah, blah, blah. Great. We have an objective. It's not, we want to implement AI because it sounds cool. It is, we want to use AI to deliver internal customer service, better reporting. Let's take 3 weeks. And you, Layla, talk to all of the leaders in your team, and they go out and talk to their stakeholders and ask simple questions. What are the obstacles that are preventing you from delivering your portion of what we need to deliver quality on-time reports? Simple question, let's get some data. They came back. We reviewed all of that data and found there were a few patterns. One is integrating 15 different currencies, geos, and divisions into one report. Number 2 was checking for errors. And number 3 was inconsistency of the message across. Those were the key obstacles to delivery. I said, great, let's write those down. And now let's form a small tiger team. Can move fast, small enough that we can easily work together. Tiger team of 3 people, plus yourself, Layla, and assign one of those problems to each of those tigers. And those tigers go out and talk to people in their team and explore how might AI, whether it's Copilot, Claude, something else, an AI tool, help to consolidate currencies and geos. How might it help to find errors? And after 4 weeks of that exploration, we came back together and we synthesized it down. And we found that Claude was good at consolidating, checking. It could also tie into some of the Copilot tools in the AI in order to then bring things together with inconsistencies resolved, and could go back and check for any errors. We said, great, let's try it. From the VP, Layla, down through all of the people in corporate finance, we're going to actually use Claude for these things, Copilot for these, then we'll have a workshop, put it together. Everyone getting their hands wet with the tools, using and learning. We'll take 8 weeks to do that, which will give us 3 weeks to then build the actual documents that go to the board for the next board report. They did that. They found that by the end of week 7, they actually had a very good working draft of reports. And they then had time to leverage Claude and their own intelligence to create a very powerful summary of the reports and a presentation that Layla could deliver at the board meeting. All 2 weeks before they needed to turn the reports in. After the board meeting, we got back together. First question was, what did they think of it? They were amazed. They said, we'd almost given up on ever having good, quality, reliable information. Not just data, but information. The summary was great, and it aligned with the reports. And we had it in time we could read it. So we then dove into what worked and what didn't work. Because ultimately, we want to use this first small pilot as the foundation that we can then leverage to empower others. If Claude, Copilot together delivered a great board report, just think what it can do for other areas. As humans, we follow success. We follow good examples. We don't like mandates, use AI. We want something specific. So the key to success with AI is starting small with one problem. Identify the thing that is most frustrating for your team in procurement. What's holding you back? And then to find that small team of people in your organization to work with you to explore safely with clear parameters and boundaries. The corporate LLMs, following the data policy. How could we use this to solve our nagging problem? And when you've found something that works, then tell people about it. Explore it together. This is a new world, and we're on a journey together to learn where can AI plus people really change the way procurement is done and perceived in society. But it starts with the vision from the Hill, bringing people into the equation, having a purpose, exploring, acting, collaborating, and empowering that leads to that formula. The keys to success, which all start with you. You hold the keys to success. Because the difference between those that succeed and those that are another AI initiative failure is mindset. How you and the people in your organization look at this. If you think AI is something you just turn on and let it run and life will be good, that's not going to work so well. If you think AI is the big bad wolf that's going to come take your job, that's definitely not going to work so well. But if you go out of here today with the mindset that AI is a wonderful tool available to us, which we can use in conjunction with the data and the capabilities that we have from Sievo and our partners to really solve problems, one problem at a time, we can climb that hill and be at the helm of where we want to go. So over the next hours, as you hear various presentations, workshops, I encourage you to keep in the back of your mind this framework. Listen for and ask questions. What was the purpose when you chose to use this tool? What was the problem you're trying to solve? How might this play out in the real world? What could we do to explore it? What are the safe boundaries that we can use to experiment within our data restriction policies, within our environment? How might I, as an executive, actually use this myself in order to demonstrate to the people in my team that I can do this and they can do this and we can do it together? Because for the executive to use the tool, that creates trust. It shows that you are in this with your people. You want to learn together with them and to collaborate to create that future that we all want to see, where the sun is shining bright and you are the heroes. That will empower. People want to follow success. So ultimately, you are all the winners, as are your teams. Leave the headlines behind. They will continue. AI is the savior. AI is destroying the world. Simply leave those behind. Because the reality, the 10 to 15% of companies that are succeeding with AI, those 10 to 15% are led by people like you. that recognize AI is a tool. And it's up to us, intelligent, committed people, to figure out how we're going to use it to solve problems and achieve our purpose. So I wish you a wonderful rest of the day. I'm here through lunchtime, open for any questions, comments, debates, disagreements. All are to the positive. And I'm honored to work with such a great group of people that truly own the keys to the success of the largest corporations. So enjoy the day.